Dust in the Wind, guys. Let's do this one. If you want the tab, go to the description box below, click on the link, and it'll take you to there. All right, so we start with a C. Let's do the chords first. C. C major 7, just lift that finger. C add 9, just add the pinky. C. C add 2, which is just these two on 4 and 3. Add the pinky to for A sus4. Back to A minor. Lift it for the A sus2 again. C add 9. This is just the sequence of the chords for the intro. Back to C. C major 7. C add 9. A minor. A sus2. A sus4. A minor. Okay, now here's the picking pattern. It's just a Travis picking. So if we started on the C chord, I'll show you the pattern, and the right hand is going to do exactly the same thing for all the chords. I'm going to try and keep this as short and concise of a video tutorial as possible. There's a lot of moving parts in it throughout the song though, so we'll see how it goes. All right, so pattern. Okay, thumb's going to go 5 and thumb's going to go 4. 5, 4, 5, 4, Travis, typical Travis pattern. Index is going to go 3, middle's going to go 2, nothing on the first string for the intro. I just like to rest that on there, and it just keeps the hand still, so I'm not, doing this while I'm trying to pick. All right, so if you have that problem, just put your ring finger on the first string. Better to do that than to put the pinky on planted here. Why? Because that causes tension in your hand, and we don't want any tension. This will keep the hand very relaxed, and if you're not using the first string, why not try it out? Okay, so pinch on 5 and 2, 4, and then index on 3. So pinch 5 and 2, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. Okay? And then same thing here. C major 7, C add 9, C, A sus2. I almost said C. A sus4, A minor, A sus2. Back to C add 9, to a C, C major 7, C add 9, A minor, A sus2, A sus4, A minor, pinch, pinch. What is that last move? That's going from, you have A minor, just play 5 and 2, you have your first finger here, and then you do a G over B. So you do the B here, and then your pinky on the D here. Okay, that's a G over B chord, or also could be called an E minor 7. It just depends on your mood, or actually depends on the context of the music. But that's outside of the scope of this lesson, so we're just going to call it a G over B, okay? So that's the intro. If you can get that down, the rest of the song should be pretty easy. So let's get into the rest. Okay, let's get into the verse now. So I took it from the last measure of the intro, which was this, the A sus4. Okay, the G over B, if you remember that. Okay, now we get to a C chord. Same pattern, G over B, same pattern in the right hand. And now you see this ring finger that is just hanging out on this first string is just going to play the pinch for 5. And that's on an A minor. Okay, from here on, you can put it down, but I wouldn't, because then you're going to keep having to play it and you're going to need it to be free. So that's where I would just take it off and leave it off. All of that is over A minor. So from the time you go, same pattern. Now you go to a G chord, but you only need this one finger, this one single finger on the G. Okay, you're going to pinch on 2. And now you're going to make a D minor 7 chord. You're going to bar 1 and 2. Second finger on 3, and the root is 4, so that's what your thumb's going to play. And then here your thumb's going to play 3 while you pull it off. Okay, you're going to pull off that 3rd string, so you have this. Okay, so you're pinching 4 and 1, and the thumb is coming to the 3rd string, and then index on 2, thumb on 4, middle on 1, thumb on 3, pull off. Okay? So that's where the thumb is breaking the rule and going to the 3rd string. Okay, so then after the pull off, you're going to go to the first ending. So you're going to go pinch on 5 and 1, and I'm going to use my middle finger for the ring, for the first string. I'm not using my ring finger, okay? So pinch, same pattern. Get to the index finger playing 3 here, you're going to pinch 5 and 2, and then you're going to do the G over B again. Okay, so that first ending sounds like this. Pinch, pinch. I never pinch with the same fingers. I always switch fingers, so I would go, or wherever I left off. If I left off on my index finger being the last note, then I would switch and have this be the first pinch and that be the second pinch. But that's what I do, so if you're just watching my fingers and you see, if it looks confusing, don't think it's a different string. I'm just alternating my fingers on the 2nd string. Okay, so I'll play that again. Okay, so we got to rewind. We're not rewind, we're just going to repeat. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so after we do the first ending, so we had this. Repeat. Okay, we're repeating. G, D minor 7. And now we get to the second ending. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Pinches, what we're going to do is we're going to do a pull off here. Okay, our second finger is going to pull off on that 4th string and our thumb's going to play it. So that whole measure on A minor is, sorry, we do the 1st string. And here you can kind of let go because you want to get the F sharp over the D here. Because now we're getting into the chorus. Okay, but that was the verse. We get into the next verse after the first chorus, which is this. This is the first chorus. Okay, so we ended on the A minor. And remember I said let go, because now we're going to come to a D. Okay, with an F sharp in the bass. So you need your thumb over the top here. So if you're going, and you got to land right so that you got the 6th string on the first beat with the 2nd string. So you're going to pinch 6 and 2. And the right hand pattern is still the same. And then you're going to come across the top with your 2nd finger and let go. And that's the only one you have for the G chord. Okay, so you pinch on 6 and 2. 4, 3, 6, 2. And now what you want to do is with your first finger is pull off the 5th string and the 2nd fret. And you're playing that with your thumb over here. So you have this. Okay, again. Okay, and now we go to an A minor chord. Pinch on 5 and 2. And now bring your pinky up to the 6th string and the 3rd fret for a G. Your 2nd finger, and you're playing that with your thumb in your right hand. Okay, so that measure looks like this. We're doing an A minor to an A minor with a G in the bass. Okay. You're coming back to the D with the F sharp in the bass. Back to the G with the 2nd finger, pulling off 1st finger on the 5th string. And then you're going to hammer onto an A minor chord. And hammer again. And then you're going to pinch with the G over B. Okay, you're going to pinch with 5, 3, and 2 before you go back into another verse, the 2nd verse. Okay, or it would be the 3rd verse. It's another verse. Anyway, so we've got this. Dust in the wind. I'm not going to sing it because they'll demonetize it. Well, they won't demonetize it, but they'll just take all the money. So from the tutorial, and that's not very nice. So that's why I'm saying the words instead of singing them. That's the key, right? It's the melody. It's the melody that the AI machines are looking for when they want to take the money from your tutorials. So we're not doing that. We're not singing. No singing allowed. No. All right, so that is the chorus, the first chorus anyway. Then we go back into another verse, and you can just do that because it's a repeat of the same thing. And then on the 2nd chorus, that's when we go into the instrumental bit. Okay, so we'll do that next. Okay, let's go over this part now. Okay, let's go over the instrumental. It starts with the chorus, so you're here. You're ending on this last bit of the chorus. So you have, it's right where that pull off is. Now we're going to go to the 5th fret. We're going to put our 1st finger on the 3rd string and our 3rd finger on the 4th string. Okay, and then we're going to go. So it's thumb, thumb, index. Okay, thumb on 5, thumb on 4, index on 3. And then back to the thumb on 5. So we have. And then the middle finger is going to play the second string. Again, throughout this section, I'm actually resting my ring finger on the first string because we're not using it. It automatically mutes it. You're not going to hit it by mistake. It works really well. So we have, and then thumb on 4 again, and index on 3. So now you have, and now you're going to pinch 5 and 2. 4, 3, 5, 2. Okay, then you're going to bring your first finger up to the 4th string and you're going to do a pull off. Okay, just pull off. Okay, so that whole measure is. Okay, now you can put your 3rd finger on the 3rd string. Keep your first finger on the 4th. I just use my pinky. Okay, and then we're going to pinch 5 and 2. And then 4, which is thumb, 3, which is index. Okay, so pinch 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. And then pinch again 5 and 2. 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. Okay, so those two measures together are pull off, then take your 3rd finger, your pinky, which one you're using that's on the 3rd string, take it down to the 5th fret. And then just put your first finger again on the 4th string. So it's the same chord. Okay, I like to lift this finger because I don't like squeakies, but some people like squeakies on the acoustic guitar. So that's a personal taste thing. So you come down here and you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. Pinch 5 and 2. 4, 3, 5, 2, 4, 3. Okay, so you have, and now from here you're just going to make a bar. Just keep the pinky where it is, or the 3rd finger, whichever you're using. First finger's on the 4th string, just make a bar with it because you want to get the 2nd string out of it. Okay, so you're going to pinch 5 and 2. Now lift the bar. Lift the bar, you still keep the first finger on the 4th string. So you're just toggling back like that. So that measure sounds like this. Okay, then you come back to the 1st chord. Okay, so that was with the first finger on 3 and the 3rd finger on 4, on 5th fret and 7th fret. Pinch 5 and 2. Pinch. And do the pull off just like we did before and replace, so the first finger stays on 4, pinky or 3rd finger goes on 3, okay? Same as before. And then come down to the 3rd fret. Bar. Completely let go. Play that last note open before you come to a C chord. Okay, and then you go back and you play the intro again. So that's the instrumental. Okay, let's look at that outro. So it comes from the chorus. So after the instrumental, what happens is we go back and we do the intro, and then we do another verse, and then we do another chorus. And then after the last chorus is when we go straight into this intro. So on the last chorus, you're going to do this part 3 times. You're going to go. That's 1 time, okay? Do it again. Twice. Here we go, the 3rd time. Now this 4th time, we start the same, but after the pull off, we're going to go to an A minor, okay? So that part's the same. Okay, so we're going to play the A minor, pinch, 5 and 2, 4, 1, 5, 2, 4, 1, and then stay on this on the A minor chord and pinch 5 and 2 again. But this time you're going to lift the first finger. Okay, so you pinch 5 and 2, lifting the first finger. 4, 1, 5, 2, and then pull off. Okay, so the second finger is pulling off the 4th string. And then when you come back on, you have to come back onto an A minor chord, but you're going to put your 4th finger on the D, which is the 2nd string, 3rd fret. Okay, so you come right back onto that, so it's an A minor with that D there. Sorry, it's still, so. Okay, so you pull off right there, and you pinch with the fifth string with the thumb. Okay, so they have that. Take it off, pull off, land with the pinky. And then you have to make a little bar with your 1st finger from the 2nd to the 1st. You're kind of like if you were going to play an F chord, right? So you're going to make that little bar. So you have now. And then you can lift it off here. And then you take the pinky off as well. So you're pinching. Okay, so we'll do that part again from the A minor with the D in it. So bar, take the bar, pinky off and the bar off as well. Okay, so you just really, once you take the pinky off and the bar off, you're back to just to an A minor chord, basically is what's happening. So you have the A minor in the first measure, then you do this A minor 6/11. That's what this is called, this weird chord here. When you add the F here and you add the D here, okay? Back to A minor. Then take the first finger off, pull off, back to A minor 6/11. Back to A minor. Pinch, stay on A minor, pull off. Take it off. Open, pull off. So you're just doing this over and over again. Okay, so the first measure is the A minor, taking off the first finger and doing the pull off. Okay, think of that as one measure. The second measure is the A minor 6/11 to the A minor. That's the second measure. Third measure, you're going back, taking that off, pull off, A minor 6/11. Now, go back to the first measure. Second measure. Third measure. First measure. Second measure. third measure. Okay, you just keep repeating that. What other record does is it just repeats and fades. So you just keep doing that once or 100 times, whatever makes you feel good. So that was it. That's Dust in the Wind. I hope I kept it short enough and to the point. So let me know in the comments below how you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Help me keep my channel going, guys. Okay, we'll see you in the next tutorial.